What's up, y'all? This is your host, DJ Wiz Hoffa. This is Faces of 518, episode 16. Shout out to all my supporters, all my listeners, all my viewers. Today, I got a special guest on the show, somebody that I know for a long time. He's an author. He's a Black entrepreneur. He's a person that does a lot of work in the community. He's a motivational speaker, amongst other things, a father, and just a good person all the way around. Welcome to the show, my man, Justice Maddox.
Peace.
What up, man?
It's another day, man.
It's good to have you here,
Man,
brother.
thank you for having me. It's an
Yeah,
honor, man.
man. You know, when I go down the list of people that I definitely feel like represent and are a face of the 518, you definitely one of them. So if it didn't happen now, it's gonna happen regardless. You feel me?
Absolutely. Everything happened when it's supposed to. So, you know, the timing is right on time. So I'm glad to be here, man. And like I said, man, thank you for having me.
That's what's up. And
Yeah.
I want to learn some more things about you for myself, other than what I already know. And your background in the 518, are you from the area?
Nah, actually, I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
As I like to say, that's
okay.
the place where
Second
stars
guess
is
in the
born.
row. Let's get it. You know what we do up in this. All right.
Yeah, that's the place where stars is born, man. And like Jizza said, streets are shot up. But nonetheless, yeah, that's where I'm from, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, born and raised. Came up here, I want to say circa 2000, a little bit before 2000. I landed here. Came up here originally just to go to school. And after I graduated, I stayed. And I've been here ever since. So,
Okay.
you know,
College?
26 years. Yeah, I went to college here. Yeah.
What college?
First, I started at Hudson Valley. You know,
Me too.
it's a long story the way that happened because I wanted to go to SUNY first.
Okay.
And I was just coming home. And they denied my application at first. They was like, nah, I think you need to go to a community school and see how you fare there. And then come back and see if we could let you in here, or if you still want to come here, we'll give it a second look at your application. And I went to Hudson Valley, did what I did there, got my associates, and then I reapplied to SUNY because that's where I wanted. It was a goal of mine. So I went back and they accepted me, and I went and got my bachelor's there. Bachelor's in psychology with a minor in business.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Our second SUNY graduate in a row on the show. So around the time that I met you was probably a good 4 or 5 years after that. I think circa 2004, 2005, right? And just to see how far you've came, right? And from what I saw you doing back then to what I see you doing now, that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show, because I think your journey is real remarkable. So for many of y'all that know, that watch my show, you know, I'm a DJ. At one time I did mixtapes, and, you know, part of the mixtape game was getting your stuff distributed and getting it in stores. So me and my good brothers used to spend a whole Saturday or a whole Sunday going to every store in Troy, every store in Albany, every store in Schenectady. And one day I ran across this brother at a store called The Jump Off that used to be on Albany Street. And he didn't own it, but he had a little corner in the back of the store, right? And in his little corner, he had all the hottest mixtapes that he was selling. And my job was at the time to go in there, convince him why he needed a DJ Wiz Hoffa or a DJ Biz or whatever Noise My product that we was pushing. So I really saw this brother first selling mixtapes. And what got you into that? Was that just a little side hustle you were doing at the time, just something to get by?
Brother, that the mixtape game and the DVD game and all that was how I subsidized my income at that time. You know what I mean? And while I was in school, that's what I did. That's what I was known for. I was hustle man. So I had my books on one shoulder, and I had my CDs and DVDs on the other shoulders, along with like incense and oils. So all of that, I just walked around with that all day selling mixtapes, and that was the golden age of hip hop right there, when I could get $10 for a CD, 2 for $15, and the DVDs was $15 a piece and 2 for 25. So, you know, all day I'm in the campus centers of Hudson Valley and SUNY, just selling CDs and DVDs. And then when I wasn't there, I was in the store. So that was just something I did on the regular. I always loved the music. The music was a part of my life. It's always been a part of my life. Like hip hop is the soundtrack to my life.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And just because I always try to find ways to shout the DJs out. When you was on your journey selling mixtapes, who was some of your top sellers? It don't gotta be nobody local, but just, you know, like anybody who you felt like, yo, every time I buy them, they gonna go. It could be a Ty Boogie, it could be a whoever.
Definitely Ty Boogie. Definitely Clue. Clue at the time was like the hottest at the time. Like anytime a Clue tape dropped, it was out of here. You know, who else was hot at the time? Who was Ty Boogie's rival out that used to always Danny D?
Okay.
Danny D CDs used to go like fire. Who else? It was so many different D. I don't even remember all the names right now, to be honest with you. However, I definitely in that same vein, aside from the jump off, my OGs that also used to sell the CDs and DVDs and really put me on was like the Jala Fashions.
Okay.
Know what I'm saying?
And Troy, no doubt.
And the G Spots. Know what I'm saying? I gotta shout out to them. Like those are my OGs right there that really showed me the game, and really I saw having their own businesses. Know what I'm saying? Even though I had an entrepreneurial spirit from the start, it's just like seeing them in the game and seeing them have their own small businesses in our communities really gave me that spark, know what I'm saying, to be like, yo, I'm a do that, know what I'm saying, and I'll do it on my own. And I just started from out of my car and went from there.
That's beautiful, man. Shout out to Anthony and Corey, you know, from G Spot, man. They definitely legends in this mixtape game.
Absolutely.
And early in the clothing game too, because you know they used to go to the what's that they have every year where they
the Magic Show out in Vegas.
They would be at the Magic Show twice a year or whatever. So shout out to them. And you know what was crazy? Because the day I first met you, I was trying to pitch you something, and this dude, he was like, yo, you gotta get his shit right there. He the man. And that dude had literally just met me the night before because he was Kid Capri's brother. And I was in Kid Capri's hotel room with them the night before, and they was in there playing video games. So it coincidentally, from Albany all the way to Schenectady, the very next day, I'm in the jump off, and dude walks in while I'm trying to sell you a mixtape, and he's like, yo, that's the man right there. And it was just because he had just met me last night. So that was crazy. Because he was thinking, yo, anybody that's in the room with my brother, it gotta be somebody. You know what I mean? So after that, the jump off was kind of short lived, right? You there?
Yeah, I was. After that, I stopped being at the jump off probably, I want to say circa like 04. Then I took a hiatus. I had to rebuild and just stack my bread enough to be like, I'm ready to open up my own shop and go from there. And that was like late 05, early 06. And then the Coliseum.
Right.
You know, 153 South Pearl Street. Shout out to the Coliseum. You know, going through an entrepreneurial journey, only fellow entrepreneurs could understand that pathway. You know what I'm saying? When one business don't work out and then go to the next business, and you have to like build up in your mind like that you ready to go, and that it's always gonna be sink or swim. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to make that decision. Like, yo, I'm ready to swim. I'm going all in with this, and I'm ready to take this thing out to the next level. And then in 06, I opened up my shop. It was called Young Fresh and Fly at the time. In 2006 in the Coliseum.
I still have it in my phone as that. And I'll be like, I know it's not that, but that's just how I label it. So I ran into you at the Coliseum when you first started there, and I was like, yo, this your spot? And you was like, yeah, this mine. And I'm like, yo, dude, so to see somebody come from the back of somebody else's store, just having a little corner to sell mixtapes, to seeing them open up a clothing store miles away. Now you're in my hood and I'm seeing you. and you was always, every time I came up in there was always something new. You always found the way to develop your store, whether it was the aesthetics or the brands you was carrying. And one thing I always learned from you, from going down there to shop, you was always confident in your product, right? And you was one of the ones that taught me, like, yo, I'm doing the same thing for you that you doing for me. This is not a favor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I always noticed that you was real confident in your brand all the time. Where did that come from?
Well, for one, the way I look at it, like when you walk into a person's business, you walking into their mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like a snapshot of what goes on in their mind. So if I'm in there in my store 8, 9, 10 hours at a time, when you walk in, you're gonna see a picture that reflects the way that I think, the way that I operate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm painting pictures. That's the way I always looked at it. When you the frame, I'm painting a picture. Whatever the look that you want to go with for that day, for that occasion, I'm painting a picture, and I'm confident that I'm able to paint the picture that you want to go out with or look like, and you being the frame on that day. You know what I'm saying? So I always been confident in the products that I have, and people look at it like they don't see the vision, but I already saw you in it before you even got there.
Yeah, because you could come down there it could be a big event happening at Sneaky's or something.
Yeah.
And you not right, and you could go down there and talk to Justin. You at least know he gonna help you try to put something together.
Absolutely.
You don't get that at a lot of other places you shop. You could go to the mall and not get nobody try to help you. They just want to see if you gonna. They might be waiting for you to tell them what you want, but they're not gonna go, here, yo, this gonna go with this. You should, you know what I mean? So I always appreciated that about you. Now you had, you started on one side and then you took both sides over, if I remember correctly.
Yes, because the store grew, and one caveat to what you just said, like it's a different energy that you put into it when it's yours.
Yeah,
and I'm only eating what I kill. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm in the store, I'm sitting there, I already got 3 to 4 fits that I could. If you come in and you tell me, yo, I'm a 34 on the bottom and I'm a large up top, boom. And my first question is like, what you wearing on your feet? You tell me what you wearing on your feet. I already got 4 outfits in my mind already, because I'm like, all right, I gotta eat tonight. This is how I survive. This is how I live. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't make the kill, then I don't eat. You know what I'm saying? So I already got it envisioned in my mind. So in regards to when I went into the Coliseum, mind you, like I only had like a small space. The reason why I called it Young, Fresh, and Fly at the time, because when I first opened, I only sold baby clothes. And the reason for that is it was 5 other clothing stores in the Coliseum at the time that sold like, urban wear and things of that nature. And there was one brother, shout out to the Val, he had suits and all that was across the hall from me. But, the other stores that sold urban wear, I was like, no, I have to have my own niche or my own niche that I can do that would separate me from everybody else that was selling clothes. So I went with kids' clothes. And then I knew for one thing, most people, and let me tell it, nobody can match my hustle. So I'm just like, all right, I'm out here. I'm gonna get to it. I was out there selling the kids' clothes, and then people started demanding more clothes. And as that time went on, the business started to grow. Other businesses didn't succeed, and when they left, I took over their spot. And as other businesses went under or left, I just took over spaces that was on that first floor. And it ended up being the whole first floor.
That's right. And then you ended up down the end of from South Pearl to North Pearl.
Yes.
Right in the crux of downtown, where there wasn't anything urban, any type of urban taste or anything there.
Absolutely.
Right? And you managed to be there for a long time, still to this day. What has it been? What's the journey of holding down that business that long? Because we see Black entrepreneurs open up businesses and restaurants and soul food and this, that, and then in 2 years they be gone. So what's the secret to your longevity? For what's 3 things you would tell any entrepreneur that's gonna lead you to longevity?
Consistency,
Mm-hmm.
being there when you say you're gonna be there,
Mm-hmm.
always adapting to whatever the times is, and following up with your customers is definitely 3 important things. You know what I mean? Like always building a rapport with your customers. Like one of the main things that I did at Fresh and Fly as a separator was I let my customers or the people that came in first of all, they guests, you know, they coming into your establishment. Like I said, they coming in, they walking into a piece of your mind. This is your home because I'm there more than I'm home. So when they come in, my first thing is like to engage them and to separate what this business is from any other business. So the way that I approached that was first thing I gave them the Fresh and Fly treatment. You know, the Fresh and Fly treatment for first-time customers was I hand you a store flyer. The store flyer got all the store information on one side, and if you flip that thing over, it got Fresh and Fly Golden Rules. Fresh and Fly Golden Rules was like 10 commandments. And the first commandment was keep God first. Second one is if you're a man or woman of your word, always be a man or woman of your word, and so on and so forth. So that connection right there made them hold on to that flyer and that information that I gave them because it always almost served or it
Like
was in
jewels.
connection like 10 jewels or even commandments. You know
Like
what
you
I'm saying?
gave
That
them
connected.
the 1 to 10 on the back
Absolutely,
of the flyer.
absolutely,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. Why self, man? So when I did that, the next step that I would do would always I would say, you know, we selling lotion, and you gotta I gotta give you the full Fresh and Fly treatment. I give them lotion. It's 100% natural shea butter, and allow them to smell that and rub it in their skin. And if they didn't even buy nothing, no clothes or anything like that, 9.99 times out of 10, they was leaving with at least the lotion. So that connection to the customer was a tremendous separator that then they took that flyer home. And sometimes that flyer served as like something that they either put on their refrigerator, they put it in their car, they live because they rules to live by. You know what I'm saying? So I connected with my customer in a way that automatically made that connection way bigger than me selling you clothes from the gate because it was always bigger than the clothing store to me.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I always loved how you would never detach from the community, especially the artist community and all the talent we have in 518. Your spot has always been a hub. If somebody come down there and like, yo, I got a big show coming up, or I got a big video coming up, or yo, I got a sponsorship coming up, you'll figure out a little package for them and figure out a way that you can help them and put your clothes on them. Even when I called you and said, yo, I'm about to bring Rakim's son Tamel out here and we shooting a video. You opened up the store for us on a day that it wasn't open.
Yeah.
And just let us rock out, got us together. So, you know, I appreciate you for that. And you've had like a bunch of celebrities come through your spot, right?
Absolutely.
Name some of the people that came through there.
From Cassidy to I was about to say Mike Epps. I had Mike Epps come through. I had what's the brother name that does do the beats? He from Philly.
Oh, I feel like I remember when that happened too, bro.
Man, what's that? I'm mad I forget his name.
Do
right
he
now.
make Meek beats?
He did Meek one
I
of
know
Meek beats.
exactly who you're talking about, bro. I
Damn,
remember when he
I
came.
got his face in my head.
Jalil Beats.
Jalil Beats,
Yeah,
yes.
holla at me.
Yeah. Jalil Beats came through. One of the biggest people that might not be a superstar in the sense that was a tremendous look for me and somebody that I admire and honored was Nelson Mandela's grandson came through.
Wow.
He came through, showed love, bought some of my outfits, asked me to sign my book and everything like that for him. We flicked it up. He gave me some advice, dropped some jewels on me. So, that was like a real memorable moment for me, just to have that bloodline in my store and just speak to him and just be able to build with him for he was in the store for like an hour just chopping it up. Because I was the only clothing store in the area, and
Right.
they was here for the caucus.
That's
And
fire.
yeah, and he just came in and we just talked. You know what I'm saying? And it was surreal. To have those in-depth conversation with somebody, grandson or bloodline that I truly admire and is one of the ancestors that I revere. Uh, and the list goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? I definitely had a lot of people come throughout the years, and it's been like a hub for you know talent and local, even local talent. I don't like to even say local talent because we
Talent
superstars
from
in
the
our own
area.
right. Yeah, talent from the area. Those are the real
Shout
superstars
out
and
Beast for
and
that.
and the G's from the area that I also admire, and we share information. We build like some of the building sessions that I done had in the shop. Is if they had it on tape, it'll be a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just set up a camera and
Hmm.
just shoot. Sometimes, but I admire those conversations and those people coming through because those are the ones that spend the money on a regular basis versus like the one time. In and out type of customers, but definitely those are the first few that come off the top of my head that has been in the store.
And eventually, I started coming through and noticing you had your own clothing line in there.
Absolutely.
And what made you obviously like years in the business of selling other people's product?
Hmm.
You as the entrepreneur that I know you are, you like, man, I gotta do this. I
Hmm.
gotta do my own. So what?
Absolutely.
What was the science behind that?
Well,
Even
for
though I know
one,
it's not rocket science, but
yeah, well, the simplest things is some of the things that oftentimes get overlooked, and it's just like I've been selling everybody else clothes for so long, I can sell my own, and the message that I wanted to get across was basically at the first designs that I did was in direct connection to my golden rules. The golden rules had been a staple in the store since it opened in 2006. So I just started creating designs that was connected to the golden rules and like the I am
I'm King.
kings and
That was my
the
first one I got from you.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and that I resell that and make variations of the first design every year. You know what I'm saying, and that's probably like my best seller. Because it infuses every person that has it on with a type of inspiration. You can't walk a certain way when you got that I am on your
Right,
chest. You know what
right,
I'm
right,
saying?
right, right,
You
right.
gotta hold your head up different. You stand up
The gold
differently. You know what I'm
crown, no
saying?
doubt.
Yeah, when you got a crown on, you know what I'm saying, and you representing who you are. You know that you walking around as royalty because the golden rule says if you are a king or queen, act like it. If you act like a peasant, you will get treated like one. So when you got that I am on, you walk different, you talk different, you think different. You know what I'm saying? So that was the main purpose of that. You know what I'm saying? In connection to the golden rules. Like even the shirt that I got on right now, if you flip it on the other side, is golden rule number 5. And that's stay sucker free. You know what I mean? Stay sucker free. That's a full-time job, man. Yeah, and sometimes, people gotta realize like the first sucker that you got to stay free of is the one that's in your mind that might be telling you to have doubts or have fears or things that you might be facing in your life that you feel like is obstacles or hurdles. Man, we done been here before. Ain't nothing could stop you but you. You know what I mean? So once you have that in your mind, that's the first sucker that you got to defeat, and then every other sucker that's in the world don't stand a chance. Word.
You were also one of the first entrepreneurial entrepreneurs from the area that I saw early on understood how social media um works and how social media could take you to the next plateau. Explain to me because you did the motivational Mondays,
Mm-hmm.
which became like a staple in the 518,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where every Monday you would tell us, your people, something that we need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So what was like what made you want to do that?
That honestly, it just came organically because it started out as Fresh and Fly Car
Mm-hmm.
Chronicles. Know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I was just in my car, like you and I done. You done came in the shop and we done built You know what I mean? Tons of times. You know what I'm saying? So those things that we was building about, or like when I had bills with other people that come in the shop, you know, I'm like, you know, I want to, the things that I think about, I want to share. You know what I'm saying, with the people, because if they impact this individual, I'm sure that they can impact other individuals as well. So I just started sharing my thoughts. You know what I'm saying, the way that I think, the way that I see things, and that's it. Just happened organically. Like once I started, like I said, it started out as Fresh and Fly Chronicles, and then people was like, "Yo, you got to keep doing that. You got to keep doing." Yo, I saw that one on last week. You know what I mean? That was fire. You know what I mean? Yo, keep those things going. So, and then it just morphed into Motivation Money Making Monday, where I made a commitment to myself, like I'm gonna do these every Monday. So every Monday I went on and started doing Money Making Mondays, and then once that started, I wanted every year, you know, you just want to scale it to another level where it's just not a hot take for a minute. You want to transform it into something deeper and bigger. And then, you know, I started having these candid conversations with individuals, you know what I mean? And then it just grew from there. Yeah, and now I look at it as a multimedia platform because it does it all. You know what I mean? It's just not about me just getting on there running my mouth. It's about, you know, business. It's about inspiring people, empowering people, and just doing things to highlight different people in the community that is on the right track, so that, you know, other people like can see it in the world and be inspired by it.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. Explain to me what because there's a conference that happens every year, and I haven't been to one yet, but I see that you've been an integral part of that, called Makings of the Man.
Yes.
Can you tell the people out there a little bit about what that conference is about?
Yeah. So the Makings of a Man was started by a sister, a queen by the name of Markia Robinson.
Hmm.
She seen the need in the community for men to get together and to empower one another, speak with one another, build with one another, share their thoughts and ideas with one another, and just, you know, see how we can better network and collaborate, because men are the foundations not just of our families, but of our communities. But it being a lack of men getting together and working together and networking together, she saw the need, and then she just brought the brothers together and let the brothers run the show. She was just basically the connector. You know, she was the creator, used her as a conduit to bring brothers together and allow us to, you know, just build together and just grow together and inspire each other. And it just transformed into a brotherhood, you know. And it's an annual conference, and we've done things outside of just it being a one time a year thing. We've done other sessions as well, just to connect and make sure that we're not just leaving it in one space for the year, but to
Right.
also build with each other throughout the year.
And what time of the year does it usually happen?
In August.
Okay,
Yes.
that's dope.
Yeah.
Um, Now when I be on social media, I be seeing you running and stuff, and y'all got you got a team or organization called Cap City Runners, right?
Yes.
Did y'all have an event last week or
Yes.
something? Because I
Yeah, we have a
saw
event like
something. I feel like I saw DJ Show DJing at the Madison Theater or something. Was y'all in there or
That wasn't last week. Not
Okay.
not with DJ Show. That
Okay.
actually we had a celebration, but that was earlier in the year. It wasn't last week.
okay?
But yeah, like Cap City Runners. Shout out to Don. Shout out to Markel. Those my brothers. Like literally, I don't want to time stamp it, but today we celebrating our 3-year anniversary, and we literally Don threw out a message on social media. Like we was running through the hood individually, and we used to see each other. You know, either making posts. I really didn't post at the time, like as far as like my runs, but I used to see Don all the time running through the community. I used to see Markel, and then, you know, Don sent out a message like, "Yo, I want to start a run group, this, that, and the third. So if y'all with it, show up." I ain't respond.
Oh, you
Know what I'm
talking
saying?
about cows?
Yeah,
That's
Markel.
Markel? Okay, got you.
Markel.
All right,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right,
yeah.
got you.
I call him Killer Kells.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
he's
right,
a legend in 2 games.
okay.
Basketball and running. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, done throughout the message, and then we just showed up. Like Kels came through. I didn't tell him that I was coming through, because the reason for that, and I'll be brief with that, is because the biggest bonds that I have ever developed with individuals
Mhm.
have been not because they told me they was gonna do something, just because they just did what they was gonna do, and
Right.
it just meshed. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, people say they're gonna do things all the time, and then they don't follow through, or they fall through. But when a person just show up for you, you know what I'm saying? When it's unexpected, or you didn't have no knowledge of them even having the intent to do that,
Mhm.
then it means so much more. So I was just like, yo, I'm gonna just show up, and we all showed up that day. And then 3 years later, it's strong. We started off with 3 of us, and his wife was there, right friend, and his two daughters. So it was 7 of us the first day, and now we up to 100 and better. Like 100
That's
people showed up
fire.
today for our 3rd anniversary. Like that's why I'm
Wow.
a little tired, because I already
Okay.
ran twice today.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And during the month of June, we got the Juneteenth challenge. Every year we commemorate Juneteenth. So the first time that we did it was 159 years. Last year was 160, and this year we at 161. So it's 161 years since the first Juneteenth. June 19th, 1865, 161 years removed. We commit to doing 161 miles in the month of June. So we on that track. We
So
on that
you
commitment.
you helping Black people stay healthy.
Yeah, man. It's
That's
because
the.
it's a lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's why it was totally in sync with who I am as a person. Because being healthy is just not, just working out or anything like that. It's also about being healthy with others. You know what I'm saying? And running through the community. And if people don't see it, then how they gonna be inspired to do it? You know what I mean? So, and in that space, we the only Black and brown ran run group in the 518.
That's
You know what I'm
fire.
saying? At all. You know what I mean? So just to highlight that and be in that space, and a space that we had little to no representation, is key. And once other people see that we in this space, and that you can actually do that outside of some sisters, shout out to Black Girls Run. We the only other Black and brown ran organization in the 518. So we had to run through the community just to show people that it's doable, and this is a easy entryway of staying healthy, and collaborating, and being with other brothers and sisters, and doing things that can help you grow and be better as an individual.
That's what's up, man. We
Hmm.
need that in the community. So being a Black business owner, and as long as you've been now, like I know that you have a son,
Yes.
and I remember one time I came in there, and he was behind the counter, but I didn't
Hmm.
know that was your son.
Yeah.
So when you came out from the back, we had a conversation, and you were saying how important it is for him to be learning what he was learning at that time, because the key thing that you said to me that I always remembered was that when he gets older, he's not gonna think about working for somebody else,
Hmm.
because he's seen his dad be his own boss
Hmm.
most of his life. How important do you think that is? And has that bug bit him?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like that's legacy right there, And this is, for one, we seen that in other communities for generations, and we just didn't pick up on it and make sure that it was a part of our families and our communities as much as we should. So it was very important just having that entrepreneurial mindset be embedded into my children, both my son and my daughter, just to allow them to see that. Because if they don't see it, then, it's harder for them to be it, and once they see that it's doable, and that all of these things are tangible, to work for yourself, build a business, grow a business, and have sustainability within your community and impact within your community, then they know that they can do that as well. So it's very important to me as a father to show my children all of those things, and make sure that that legacy is passed on and those seeds are planted so that they know that they can do it on their own, you know. And it's bigger than just being your own boss. It's also just being an impactful leader in your community, you know. And it doesn't have to be something that you speak about being. It's just about what you do and the people that you touch in the process. So, and definitely, you know what I mean, as a father, I definitely want my children to feel that and be embedded with those that mindset from the gate, you know, because my son, he already started his own clothing line.
I was about to say, are they running ideas and concept for businesses? Do you play Shark Tank with them and tell them, like, you know, this is gonna work?
They see it in real time, like, you know, and it's funny, like, for a long time, you know, and other things, our children don't take it directly from us at first, and then they have to see that what we've been telling them all along was the right thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, once they go out on it, they got to see it. Like, yo, Dad been telling me this for years. Like, you know what I mean? Or showing me this for years, and then they start to see, like, all right, Dad knew what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then it start to hit home, and then it come full circle, and they be like, tell me more. You know what I mean? Or start asking me the questions that I've been wanting to have these conversations about, but you got to give them time to grow and want to do it, because you don't want to force anything on your children, like, you have to do this. They got to want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But you just providing the opportunity for them to do it, like, as an option. And that's something that, you know, we didn't always have. We had to just make a way, you know, and it's our job to make sure that our children have many ways. You know what I'm saying? Whatever their ambitions are. I want them, if you want to go out and play the piano, if you want to go play the violin, if you want to tap dance, I want you to be able to do all of those things. You know what I'm saying? But if it's business that you want to go after, if you want to be an entrepreneur, go into the clothing business or any other type of business, I'm a guide you as much as possible and give you that insight, give you as much insight as I have. And if I don't know, we're going to find out together.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to run a popular phrase by you real quick, and I want you to tell me what you think about this. The phrase is, turn the lights back on. And we know that Mayor Dorsey is famous for the phrase right now.
Yes.
What do you feel about the concept of turning the lights back on? And do you have any ideas of anything you would like to see that could help turn the lights back on in the 518? Because, you know, they tried to do us dirty on national news. You know, we got, who was it, Rebecca Lobo? She was saying how, what is there to do in Albany? And I feel like that's one of the things that, mind you, all of that stuff happened in the area that's right next door to your business. And you're really the only urban business there, the longest surviving business there, as far as I know. So what did it feel like for her to be saying that about a neighborhood that you own a business in?
Well, first and foremost, let's put a pin in that, because yes, I'm the longest running business in that location, black owned, whether black owned or not. But I definitely got to highlight, because, you know, obviously I'm a black man and it's the only black owned business in that area. So I'm very, very proud of that. You know, that the fact that I had the longevity that I have, and that I've been in that location for the longest, beating out other businesses like Wendy's, Blimpies, all of these other businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses that been in the same location that I am now.
Right.
I've had more longevity and more sustainability in that location. And she said those words. Yeah, thank you, brother. She said those words, and I think that it was right on time, to be honest with you, because it set a spark. Like, we ain't stopped talking about it since.
Right.
So, you know, like, it goes back to, like, many people that was in the community that was always saying, like, it's not nothing to do in Albany. And then when somebody that's outside of the community say it, then we take offense to that. But that was the spark. You know what I mean? It's either going to show us that it is tons of things to do in the 518, or it's gonna be like, oh, she right. Well, we got to do something about that. You know what I'm saying? And the way that I always look at it, just to piggyback off that phrase, turn the lights back on, is the grass always look greener somewhere else, but the grass only is greener where you water it. So if we water the grass here and continuously feed into our communities and make things to do, because it's been, I've been in Albany for years, and I done seen many different transitions of Albany and the way that the nightlife has been. And we got to take accountability for the things that we have done as a community or not done as a community to make sure that our businesses sustain themselves, whether it's a nightclub, whether it's a bar, whether it's a restaurant. Like, we got to make sure that we pouring into our businesses, that we making sure that we acting right when we go into our businesses, that we giving patience and grace to our businesses as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell you a point for me that I often don't get the opportunity to speak about.
I needed to hear what you just said about giving businesses grace too, because I was kind of tight on my way up here. We won't get into that.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. I feel you, and I already know where that thought process is going. But the grace got to come in a way that we share our grievances in a respectful manner, so that the individual businesses can improve, because we have grievances with other businesses, franchises, or whatever the case may be, that we don't even share. Like, we know that the food is nasty. We'll walk out and we won't even give it a second thought, or we won't even spread the fact to another person that, yo, this was, they served me bad food, or it wasn't right like it should have been, or the service was horrible. Like, we won't even share that. But if it's one of us, trust and believe, we run down the line of everything that went wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to, a lot of it is just like self-hate and also seeing things in the other people that we don't see in ourselves, or we should see in ourselves, and not giving each other grace. You know what I'm saying? And not being willing to do the things that's necessary to get a person past that. Just having a conversation, because 9 times out of 10, like, if you have a conversation, I know many a times people done talked about my business, and the only time that I get the opportunity to improve things is when people talk to me about my business. And then when they talk to me about it, change happens immediately, because you give me the best feedback. Because if something is not right that you feel like is going on, then I'm gonna address it immediately, because you my boss. At the end of the day, my customers is my boss. You know what I'm saying? They guide me in the right direction and tell me exactly what's needed. You know what I'm saying? Or I could tell them no, they can't find that there, which is also important for businesses to do as well. So nonetheless, the important piece is always to give each other grace, make sure that we doing the things necessary to pour into the businesses that we have in our community, because if we don't do it, trust me, nobody will. And the way that we do that is to make sure that we continuously shining light on our businesses. That's the way to turn the lights on and make sure that we taking accountability when we going into our businesses, to act right, don't be knuckleheads, show respect to the businesses, and make sure that we giving the businesses grace. But before I lose my train of thought about where I was going, during COVID, where all the businesses were shut down, and this is the perfect example, because just May 31st and June 1st is, I don't want to say I don't want to be not right and exact about the year, but it's the remembrance of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street being burnt down, right? May 31st and June 1st. So the way that that became Black Wall Street is because the amount of times that the money turned over within the community. The money didn't leave the community, because it stayed in the community it flipped in the community about 10, 15, 20 times before it left the community. And that's what built the community up. So if our money is only spending 2 hours in the community, or if we only spending 3% of our money in the community, our communities can never be sustainable. So we got to start taking account for that. It ain't that we like any other community less than our community, but we got to make sure that we taking care of our community first
Right.
and foremost, because it's our community. That's like having your house and not taking care of your house, and you taking care of everything outside of your house, and then you go back in your house and it's a disaster area. Like, know what I'm saying? That's not sight. It's not right and exact, man. So we gotta make sure that we pouring into our businesses, pouring into our black-owned businesses, black and brown-owned businesses in our communities, and spending more money intentionally so that our businesses can grow. That's where we take accountability for the things that are going on in our community, and that's how we individually pour water on our grass and also turn the lights back on and keep them on. Because they could come on for a second, but Nimo want their money. You know what I'm saying? And if we pouring into our businesses so that our businesses could have the money to keep those lights on, then, they're going to be on, but they'll be off soon. So we got to do what we need to do on a consistent basis as a community.
That's I love your answers, man. Speaking of community, I heard you're in Arbor Hill now.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
I'm a community site coordinator there, where I coordinate to bring all the resources into Arbor Hill Elementary, make sure that it has as many resources as possible for the students, teachers, parents, community members, whether it's food insecurities, whether it's housing, whether it's medical care, all of those things. We want the school to serve as a hub, because when the school serves as a hub, then we have people that can trust the school as that hub and get all the resources, and we eliminate barriers to the kids learning, educating, and overall being ready to soar and being their best self. So we want to make sure that we educate the whole child from the things that they experience in the community, as well as the things that they experience when they come into the schools, and make that whole environment the best that it can be.
So it's kind of like troubleshooting some of the issues that happen not only with the children, but their families as well.
Absolutely.
And trying to provide resources to patch those situations up.
Absolutely. Like prime example, like when I was going to school, it was tons of students that come in, like, unbeknownst to me, but looking back in hindsight, you have people in your classroom that's not eating. And we wondering why they having problems learning. Is because they not eating when they go home. Know what I'm saying? They families is going through different crises and situations. And once though, how can you learn if your lights is off at home? You got a abusive household. You don't got no food. And then you facing all those things before you even walk into the school. And then when you come to school, it's just like, why you forgot your homework? And the kid don't got the tools or the proper language to be like, yo, I couldn't even see when I went home because my lights is off. Or I ain't even eat last night. I don't got the light. So I'm just acting out instead of, being able to express myself. So as a community school, we want to take all of those things into consideration, and what better people to do that than us? You know what I'm saying? Because we come from that. I know I can spot certain things that's going on with different youth, and knowing that, they don't usually act like that on a regular basis. It's something else going on. You know what I'm saying? So you got to dig into those other things that might be barriers to that youth learning. And we want to make sure that we eliminate in those barriers. That's why I love what I'm doing right now, because the youth is very important in regards to our future and betting the things that's necessary for them to grow and be their best selves. So I want to do whatever I can to embed in them, to educate them, impact them, and empower them, so that when they leave out of my presence, they'll be well suited and have all the tools necessary to be whatever it is that they want to be.
Right. And if I know you, it's not some position where you just sitting behind the desk, behind the scenes delegating. I'm sure you're really connecting with the kids, right?
I'm hands-on. And like, I'm the cool staff person. You know what I'm saying? I'm the cool administrator in the school. So it's just like, it's the relatability too.
Right. Because somebody got to find a way to connect to them.
Absolutely. And being that I already have, like, the reason why it happens so organically is because it was things that I was already doing in the community. Like if somebody need clothes when in my store, I'm giving them clothes. You know what I mean? Somebody coming in the store like, yo, I'm hungry. I'm gonna get you
Right.
something to eat. You know
You
what I'm
already
saying?
been doing that.
Yeah, so I
Facts.
already been doing that. You know what I mean? So I can identify with all the needs that exist in our community. I'm in the trenches anyway. I'm hands-on anyway. So it was just organic for me to take that next step and do that. So like I said, I love it, you know, and just the direct impact that I see is gratifying, you know what I mean? Just from the youth that I've been able to impact in the time that I've been doing this is so tremendously gratifying and impact. It reciprocates because it's impactful to me as well. Just to know that I can play in this role or do this, have this role and position that impacts the youth.
I'm glad they got you, brother.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Let's talk about this, man. Change the world by changing yourself. And I'm just holding this up for the people. This is Justice's book.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a paperback. I'm sure you could find it Amazon and all of that.
Yes.
What made you write this book, sir?
Listen, that is a success manual right there. You know, changing the world, however big your world is, a person could change their immediate world, meaning themselves, their family, their community, so on and so forth, or their entire world, just by changing themselves. And it all starts with your mindset. So that book is a success manual. Every time, like when I do the Motivation Money Making Monday, I say, yo, it's not about the day. It's about your mindset. You know, because once you change your mindset and be on that course to being the person that you was put on this earth to be, that's when you start changing things. First within yourself, and then that change that you take within yourself starts to impact everybody that you come in contact with. So the first person that you got to change is you. And that's the success manual. And that's what made me write that book about all of the things, taking the steps in order to actually change yourself and impact and change the world at the same time.
I'm definitely gonna read this too.
Yeah.
You got any other books in mind that you want to write, or this was just something you had to get off your chest? You see yourself doing it again?
Absolutely. That's my first literary offering. But you know, the mind is infinite. So I have so many different thoughts and ideas and concepts that I want to share. So it's definitely gonna be more books to follow, and that's just only one aspect or one chamber or one degree, if you will, you know, of me just giving a offering to the world. But at the same token, I definitely have more books in mind that I am gonna write, and they're gonna be dope as well. You know what I mean? I call that my reasonable doubt right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's
they ain't gonna really gonna appreciate till the second one come out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
that's what's up.
you know, that's my first one. And then, you know, it's gonna be more to follow for sure.
Anything, before we break out, any happenings or anything going on big or notable that you got going on in the near future that the people need to know about, whether it be a capital city runners event or, you know, anything you got going on?
Well, the first immediate things that we on a journey as Cap City Runners right now, like I said, we doing the Juneteenth challenge. You could go on capcityrunners.org, tap in with that. You can either join the challenge or even sponsor the challenge, sponsor one of the miles, you know, sponsor one of the runners and tap in that way, because we all committed to honoring and commemorating Juneteenth and our ancestors and everything that brought, by bringing back that remembrance and letting everyone know, like, we 161 years removed from that, but we still fighting for freedom. You know what I mean? We really never received our true freedom. We still fighting oppression. We still fighting so many different battles as Black people in America, as formerly enslaved people in America, that the fight continues. You know what I'm saying? Our fight for freedom. We might have got some liberties, but we really still haven't achieved true freedom. So tapping with that. Next week, me and my brothers is doing the Buffalo to Brooklyn relay. That's the project that we're doing. It's from June 12th to the 14th. Okay. We running 450 miles from Buffalo to Brooklyn. It's a relay race, so I don't got to do 450 by myself. You know what I'm saying? We going up as a team. Right now we on a 10-man weave. We got 2 other people that's joining, so it's 5 different teams that's gonna be joining this project right here. Yeah, from Buffalo, New York to Brooklyn, New York, and
Fire.
we all gonna be running relays 3 days straight. All of us gotta run is nonstop. Somebody always gotta be running throughout that, and we doing it in honoring and commemoration and support for mental health, because there's also mental health month as well, and running is a big part of mental health. It's just not about your physical. I call running therapy. It's therapy to me. It keep my mind right. It keep me focused. It keep me disciplined. So running is definitely a sport that directly impacts your mind and the way that you think and the way that you operate and show up in this world. So we doing that in connection to mental health, just to show the importance of mental health, and we dealing with that in our community on a large scale. So anything that we can do to highlight that, we doing that as a team, so that we can show how important mental health and mental health crises and building our minds is. So from Buffalo to Brooklyn, we running from the June 12th to the 14th.
Yo, I'm perplexed that I didn't know you was from Brooklyn, because now it all makes sense. Like when 2 brothers meet each other
Yeah.
and they got like mindsets, sometimes it's
I,
not for nothing.
I'm sure I mentioned it to you before.
And
maybe
hustlers,
it didn't
and hustlers
resonate
too.
in your mind, but
and hustlers too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed.
One thing we gonna do is hustle.
Absolutely.
You feel me? But man, yo, this episode been dope. I appreciate you coming through, brother. And I definitely want to say, yo, coming from where I seen you start at, and where I'm seeing you not finish, but seeing you continue at. I'm definitely proud of you and your efforts and everything that you've been doing and what you stand for, and especially with Black entrepreneurship and all the things you're doing in the community, man. I know you're gonna continue to do what you do, bro, and you always got a seat to come here and chop it up with me, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Let me get the right name of the challenge that we doing. Know what I mean?
Okay.
I gotta shout the brother out.
While you looking for that, let me shout out my sponsor, JGI Media, 1 Highland Ave. You need podcast? Do you need photography? Do you need videography? Do you need studio recording? Do you need mixing, graphic design, website design, development? Anything you need, you could get under this roof. JGI Media, 1 Highland Ave in Albany, New York.
And this is a dope studio. If y'all ain't know, this is a dope studio. It got everything in it, man. And I done been in some studios. This is a dope studio. It's been here for years. The brother been holding it down here, producing some of the illest music and MCs.
And he was your
talent.
Neighbor.
Yeah.
For many years.
Absolutely. He was right across the street from me.
Right.
So shout out to him, man. Like, yo, definitely come through and get your music done, get your podcast done, get whatever else you need done. This is the place to do it. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely holding it down. This is one of the great locations. I don't even like to use the word good, because good is average, and we all striving for greatness over here, right? So this is a great place to come get those things done. You know what I mean? If you ever need it. So shout out to him on that note. But it's Breaking Balance Project Hope, NYS, Breaking Balance. That's the Buffalo to Brooklyn. 450 miles running from Buffalo. We coming through going from Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse. We're gonna stop in Albany, and from Albany we running all the way to Brooklyn. So we gonna get it done, man.
So I asked you what day, because we air next Wednesday. So I was trying to make sure what day that you guys are actually doing this.
Well, we leave to go to Buffalo on Thursday.
Okay, so tomorrow, for my people watching right now, tomorrow this happens.
Yeah.
Right?
So yes, absolutely. And like I said, I don't like to date it, because we might be showing bits of this episode a year from now. So, but nonetheless, listen. Next week we leave to go to Buffalo. We doing Buffalo to Brooklyn from June 12th to June 14th. We start in Buffalo and we're running all the way to Brooklyn over those 3 days, nonstop relay race, 450 miles. Yeah, so
That's what's up, man. Link up with the team.
CapCityRunners.org. Tap in. Motivation Money Making Monday. I'm Mr. 4M's. Tap in. Change the world by changing yourself. Tap in. Angelo, Justice Maddox on social media platforms. Tap in. Yeah, you know, and see me in the trenches. I'll be around.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And Faces of 518 podcast and your host DJ Wiz Hoffa. We signing off with my guest Justice Maddox. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.